Joe Montana. As a kid who grew up 20 minutes from Candlestick Park, that's exactly who Tom Brady wanted to be.
We used to be dyed-in-the-wool 49er fans. We loved Joe Montana, best ever.
When I was 4 years old, my dad took me to one of the games. It was the NFC Championship game, and Dallas played the Niners at home.
And he throws into the end zone.
We were sitting in the end zone when Dwight Clark made the catch.
In the 2000 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers were one of the teams looking for a quarterback.
At the combine, when you watch Tom, you saw this tall, gangly-looking kid. Looked like having ever seen a weight room. Ran a 5.2 something. One of the slowest quarterbacks in the combine. Does he wow you throwing the ball? Mm-mm. There were some other guys that could shoot it, and he had just an okay arm.
His 40 time and that vertical jump. In 32 years of doing this, we talked about 576 quarterbacks. He was number 576.
It's not really what my skill set is, but fortunately for me, that's not what quarterbacking's about either.
If you're going to go somewhere and learn a little bit about quarterbacking, you might as well go the Bill Walsh School of Quarterbacking, of which Steve Mariucci is a pretty good offensive coach in his own right. Giovanni Carmazzi, quarterback of the Flying Dutchman of Hofstra, and he's the second quarterback pick.
We had season tickets for the 49ers for 25 years, and we were just hurt. It just, we kind of took it personally, if you will.
Giovanni Carmazzi, the quarterback who was ranked second on your board behind Chad Pennington. Tell me where he fits in this current quarterback situation.
Well, he was probably the best quarterback in the draft as far as athletic ability. This is a fine athlete with a real future. We were sweating it out about the last 10 picks that somebody would take him. Then we heard later that others were just about to take him when we did. So that was one of our better choices.
We're in the draft room. It was the 5th round. We already had 3 quarterbacks at the time. We had just signed our number 1 quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, for a lot of money.
How much time's left on the clock? 9 minutes and 18 seconds.
I remember Belichick walking up to the board and said, wow, this Brady's still on the board.
One of the real troubling parts was the Michigan situation, the fact that really they were trying to replace him as their starting quarterback and say, okay, they don't really want this guy as their starting quarterback. They want another guy. Well, what's the problem here? It's a little bit of a red flag there.
The Patriots' first 5 picks were number 70, tackle Adrian Clem, who started just 10 games for them in 5 seasons. Running back J.R. Redmond, who finished his career with less than 700 rushing yards. Tackle Greg Robinson Randall, who lasted just 3 seasons with the team. Tight end Dave Stachelski and defensive lineman Jeff Marriott, both never made the roster. And with the 199th overall pick, they selected a skinny quarterback from Michigan named Tom Brady.
There's nothing we could really do about the whole Henson situation. We just had to evaluate what we saw, and we saw Tom time and again his senior year start the game off well, and then so many times Tom would come back in and rescue the situation and pull out the win for Michigan against great competition, the biggest game. He just took his opportunities and tried to make the most out of them.
Brady made his share of rookie mistakes.
I can't stand it. Run it again. Huddle up and run it again, Brady.
But he possessed a veteran's confidence.
This skinny beanpole of a young man walked over to me and said, hi, Mr. Kraft. I want to introduce myself. I'm Tom Brady. I said, I know who you are. You're our 6th-round draft choice. And I always remember he looked me like a laser, eye to eye, and he said, that's right, and I'm the best decision this organization has ever made.
I remember calling my agent, and I said, I think I want to buy a house. This is 2 weeks into training camp. And he's like, are you nuts? Why don't you make the team first? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make the team. Don't worry about that.
Back. Oh, now push, back. Now this way, angle, push.
37 days ago, Steve Young pulled the plug on the 49ers' 20-year dynasty. From Montana and Young, we now have Garcia and Meyer. But perhaps the starter of the future is 23-year-old Giovanni Carmazzi.
You can't really set your expectations to play like Joe Montana or Steve Young, but just the fact that they considered me to be a guy who maybe someday could adequately fill those shoes, I'm very proud of that, and it's a tremendous honor.
Gio, look at me. What's the situation? What's that? What's the deal here? Right? Yeah, but what's the down and distance, and how much time do you have left? Don't look.
22 seconds. I've got it.
This kid had all their measurables. He was fast. He was athletic. He was strong. But it became evident, first game, preseason game. The stage was maybe a little too big. The lights might be a little bit too bright for him.
Hey, Coach. 2 days after Joe Montana was inducted into the Hall of Fame, the 49ers were hoping to see signs that Giovanni Carmazzi was the next Joe Montana.
Carmazzi under pressure, and let it be duly noted that his career begins rather ingloriously with back-to-back sacks.
The next Joe Montana was on the field that day. He just happened to play for the other team.
And I think we walked out of that game feeling that we had probably taken the right guy.
I'm telling you, when you get out on the field and another team wants to knock your head off, they've got to be able to handle that mentally and emotionally. And some do, some love it, and some that makes them very nervous, and they lose some confidence. To this day, I believe that Gio, he got off on the wrong foot against the Patriots in the preseason game, and boy, I think some doubt crept in.
Carmazzi never appeared in a regular season game and was released after 2 seasons. Brady would go on to win 3 Super Bowls, but as a rookie, he would barely make the roster as the Patriots' 4th quarterback.
The reason we didn't release him was because we felt that we didn't want to take a chance on losing him, and so we carried him as a 4th quarterback even though he never played, and it was really a wasted roster spot for the 2000 season, but we felt that Tom had enough potential if he could continue to improve. That's why we carried him as an active player.